Hello, so welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the series on color symbolism in vegan witchcraft. So my name is Dr. Corey Wren. I'm a sociologist and I'm also a vegan witch, if you will. And today I want to talk about my favorite color, purple. Actually, I take that back. I don't have a favorite color. I love all the colors. And I wanted to talk about this one, I think, is my favorite because as a witchy color, it's the cool one. So purple, my little candle from Star Child in Glastonbury, that I bought in Avebury, so it's super magic. Purple is in witchcraft the color of witchcraft. So in some cases, folks will actually paint their doors purple. I can't wait to own a house one day, maybe. I work at a university in the UK, so probably won't, but who knows. And paint my door purple because that was the way that passerby could tell that this was a magical household. But purple is used ubiquitously in witchcraft, basically because it is a power color. So anytime you want to do any kind of ritual or spell work where you're building up your self-confidence, your psychic ability, intuition, whatever you want to call it, just feeling confident and like you can do it and getting rid of that imposter syndrome, purple is the color for you. So many candle spells, for instance, will incorporate purple if they're trying to build power. And of course you want to sync it up with, you want to double up your magic. You want to sync it up with the moon cycle, but that's another video. Today I'm just talking about colors. So purple is definitely one for building confidence and making you feel, I think, really at the heart of it, it makes you feel more magic. And I can tell you this, as a sociologist, we don't have much magic in this world. That's one of the reasons that Disney is so popular, I think, because it adds magic into a pretty mundane, rationalized, capitalistic society. If you want to know more about that, sociologists have written on it, and perhaps the best person to go to there would be Max Weber. Max Weber wrote on the disenchantment of society, and he was very cautious, wary of the role of rationalization and how it just kind of routinized everything to a point where we lose all kinds of flexibility and community. Emile Durkheim, French sociologist, also wrote quite a bit about the sort of secularizing of society, which, you know, has its benefits in many ways. We've got to remember that in a deeply religious society, all kinds of nasty things have happened as well. But in any case, the idea here, bringing in that little bit of sociology, is that purple, I think, is a great color because it's intentionally bringing in some magic. So when you light a purple candle, you will be, ooh, it adds a something, right? And that's really what color magic is doing. We have these deeply ingrained, socialized, cultural associations with color that whether or not we recognize it, they are there. So purple, bringing power, psychic intuition, witchy magic, confidence, all that good stuff. So I would recommend then for vegans, my little vegan folks, is to incorporate purple when you want to add a touch of magic to your day-to-day life. Maybe you're campaigning, you're working on organizing a protest or a potluck, or whatever it may be, and you want to make it a little bit more magical. Let's be honest, a lot of vegan stuff is very dreary and sad and depressing and not always very fun, which is one of the reasons we love our food so much, is because that's one, isn't it? Because that's one time that we can actually just like kind of dive into the sensuousness of being human as through food. But we can also do that through candle magic or color magic. So you might want to bring in purple in that way, decorate with purple, light purple candles, etc. But on a more personal level, I would also highly recommend bringing purple into your life for some sort of guided self-care or some, I don't know how to say it, but you want to build something. You want to kind of create a more powerful sense of self. Let's put it that way. Purple is really good for that. So especially if you are thinking about being a voice for non-human animals, I mean, they have their own voices, but you know what I mean, like speaking in a way that some people would be more willing to listen to, being more articulate, being more creative. Purple is the creative color as well. Incorporate that. Maybe if you're working on something at the computer, light a purple candle next to you. Or if you're going to go at a speaking engagement, maybe wear some purple. It will give you that confidence. It will give you that sense of maybe not taking yourself so seriously, right? Because it's a magic color, right? We're bringing happiness and joy and the other world into our everyday mundanity. That's why I like purple. It's just a cool color. So personally, what I do is I tend to almost always, not always, on my altar space, I will have a purple cloth covering it. So that at the very base, whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm thinking about working on, at the very base, I'll have that reminder of, re-enchanting my life and growing my power, growing my self-confidence, all that kind of stuff. So I almost always have that as the base. And I almost always have a big pillar candle that will be going in between particular spells or rituals or whatever. And usually that's a purple one. Around Imbolc time, around the late winter season, I sometimes will switch over and do a dark red candle to symbolize the returning sun and have some warmth, because red has a whole different connotation, doesn't it? But for most of the year, we're talking purple. It's just a daily reminder of building confidence and adding magic back into my life. And, when we're doing really hard animal rights work, and especially for me, because it's day in and day out, I'm in front of the computer exposed to this stuff and sometimes writing can be a real drudgery task, let's be honest, because you're doing a lot of research, a lot of revising. Revising is the worst. The creating part's the fun part. It's the revising, it's middle. And proofreading, all that. Purple's great. Purple's great to bring a little bit more of that joy back into it. And mystery. That's another key word. Should have used mystery. So maybe look into some purple in your life to bring in some magic and confidence, psychic power, intuition, and mystery.